What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day, and if you're new to the channel and want to subscribe button, that'd be awesome. Today is the day we finally upgrade the ignition system on the R32 Skyline. Just the other day I received my Splitfire coil packs from RHD Japan, and again, big shout out to them for the awesome customer service, answering all my questions, and for getting these to me within 3 business days. Finally, cannot wait to install these. I've been reading up on these non-stop the past 2 weeks, but what I should have done was got the R34 version of these, because they are considered a smart coil and that eliminates the igniter chip on the early model RB20s. But this is still definitely a huge upgrade to the Skyline, since the plugs and the coil packs and the wiring harness is still 30 years old. To accommodate everything else, we got the Iridium spark plugs with a heat range of 6 for a more modified motor. A lot of people actually run copper plugs because copper is a better conductor, but the downside of that is they don't last as long as, say, platinum iridium. These should do the trick. I just gotta check and make sure all 6 plugs are gapped to, I believe, 0.08. And then here again we have our wiring specialties upgraded RB20 wiring coil pack harness. So I actually went ahead already and uninstalled the turbo piping, recirc valve, valve cover, and other miscellaneous bolts here to the evap canister. Gonna get the recirc valve off. Also going to be doing a nice deep clean and degreasing on the valve cover here. Also ordered some new valve cover gaskets because I think these ones are starting to leak, as well as my exhaust manifold gasket. I did notice that the exhaust manifold gasket was looking pretty old and cracked, so I think I have a slight leak there. So I got that also on its way, and while everything's out, I'm just gonna go ahead and get everything degreased and clean, especially the valve cover. This will definitely have to be repainted, not a big deal. Got everything nice and organized. Organization is key. And everything else is honestly pretty straightforward. To get the coil packs out, they're just bolted to the coil pack bracket by 4 8mm bolts. And to get the coil pack bracket out, I believe there's 5 or 6 12mm bolts right in there. We'll just go ahead and take everything out, as well as the harness, coil packs, and the spark plugs, and inspect the spark plugs, because God knows what they look like. So I got the 12mm bolts all removed. What I'm going to do is do 3 at a time, because the way the coil packs are positioned have to be put in a certain weight on the bracket, and that'll help me stay more organized as well. Just like so. Honestly guys, every time I do something to this car, I kind of get anxiety, not because it's 30 years old, but because I feel like some parts have already been upgraded and I don't want to spend money on parts that are already installed on the car. Actually, which is cool, because I'm still learning this chassis, even tells you front up bracket and rear up bracket. So let's go ahead and remove these coil packs, put the Splitfire ones back in, go ahead and take out these 30-year-old spark plugs, do some more degreasing, and reinstall everything else. Got one, if it'll focus, come on, all right. Well, got one spark plug out. Looks normal for 30 years old. No oil on the plug, which is nice. It's just pretty burnt. You can tell that the car is running a little bit rich, but a tune should fix that. So here's a old versus new. I've seen worse spark plugs. I mean, to me this doesn't look concerning at all. Again, 30 years old, running a tad bit rich. Going to go ahead and check the gap on the Iridiums, but they look pretty similar, but I won't have to double check. And all the spark plugs looked very similar. Also, real quick comparison of the 30-year-old Nissan harness. Super stiff. And we got, again, the Wiring Specialties RB20 coil pack harness. Beautiful. So, went ahead and put everything back where it should be. Greased up the spark plugs and greased up the connectors. Got everything bolted up but not torqued down yet. We'll go ahead and install the new harness, button everything back up, and pray to God that the car starts. Real quick look on how the coil packs and new coil pack harness looks assembled in the RB20. A nice clean touch. Went ahead and also degreased the valve covers. Came out pretty good. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and button everything up. Pray to God that the car starts right up. Check for any misfiring if there is anything. And once the car's fully warmed up, we'll go ahead and go for a nice test drive. All right. Everything buttoned back up. Triple checked all the pins, all the clamps, making sure hopefully there's no boost leaks and or air leaks. Double checked the coil packs once again and the hardware, as well as the igniter and the wiring harness. Had a little scare. These two connectors wouldn't lock together, but turns out there's like this rubber protected seal in here. Just removed it, clicked right on, and that should be that. Crossing my fingers that Alright, so car sounds a little weird. The motor is shaky and the exhaust smells pretty bad. I'm thinking either one of the coil packs isn't plugged in all the way or the harness to one of the coil packs isn't plugged in all the way. I'm doing research about the gap on the spark plugs and they come stock 0.8 millimeters. So I'm going to have to take everything back off again and test each coil pack and spark plug before I take this thing out, because I don't want to risk, if this motor is running a little bit too lean and I want to diagnose this problem as soon as possible, hitting up the boy Nate and some other Skyline owners in town to see if they can come by and help me out. But I will keep you guys updated. Alright guys, figured out the issue. So I should have quadruple checked things. My dumbass plugged in harness 5 into coil pack 6. So that's what was causing the misfiring, all the shaky vibration. Oh my God, took everything back out, triple checked all the connectors, triple checked all the wires, made sure nothing was like torn, and double checked the grounds. Everything checked out until I was unplugging all the coil packs and the harnesses, and then I noticed that number 5 was on number 6, or I think number 6 was number 5. Same thing, but she's sounding great. Idle is significantly smoother. I'm gonna let her warm up, maybe give her a little bit of revs. It's kind of late and I want to be courteous of my neighbors. But sounding real good. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be taking out the Skyline tonight. It is a little bit too late and I want to be considerate of my neighbors. I believe my downpipe is fully broken into now, so it is like this much louder. But I let the Skyline idle for a good 15 minutes. RPM band was doing good. It actually dropped about 200. Idle is significantly smoother and there's no fluctuation either. Checked for leaks. Everything checks out, even though I should be replacing all of the hoses and pipes because again they're 30 years old. But other than that, a job well done, even though I pretty much did this install 3 times. So remember guys, triple check your work. If not, look it over a 4th time or with a buddy. But that's all I got for you guys today. Again, thank you so much everybody for the continuous love and support. Plenty more content on the way. So ignition is now done. At this time, I think this week, maybe this weekend, Saturday, I'm gonna see if Nate is free and if we can wire up the new universal Tomy high flow fuel pump and install the new Nissan OEM fuel filter. And I still gotta get hoses from Chris at work. So that will be in the next vlog, or if I want to put in the new coil rad and Nismo low temp thermostat. So we'll see. But again, everybody, thank you so much for your continued love and support. And if you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. We'll see you next video. Take care.